Really? What? You're gonna film a video about making a coaster, but you're not gonna use the coaster.
Well, I didn't want to...
No, use the coaster.
What if I...
Use the coaster.
What if I don't want to use the coaster?
Use the coaster.
I'll use the coaster. I'll use the coaster. I'll use the coaster.
Hey guys, and sorry for no video last week, but today we'll be making coasters. It was supposed to be the same design over here, and I was supposed to have coasters made out of this as well. But the epoxy didn't stick, and I'll get to that later. But let's first start off with the entire thing. So me and Jordan first started off by going to Woodcraft and picking up these two pieces of wood. And so then what we did from there was we took the boards, and I got my router out, and we routed a channel in the boards. From there with Jordan's, we took his and we put aluminum foil tape on the left and right side. We mixed up some polyester resin with some red pigment and poured it in. And then for the board I routed out, what we did was I took a pack of 64 crayons and we sorted them and then laid them out onto the board, and we melted them down with the heat gun. Hindsight 2020, I would have cut the crayons into small pieces because it's hard to melt them down without leaving lumps. And if you keep melting those lumps down, then everything kind of blends together and it looks less nice. But then was the fun part. Later that night, I took some clear resin and I poured it on the crayon project, and I went to sleep. Next morning, I woke up and I saw that the epoxy on this didn't stick, and it was kind of like draining out in some places, and I didn't film this part, but essentially I pulled the epoxy up and then I took the heat gun and melted the crayon back to where it was and how it looked nice, and then waited for that to cool a little bit, and then I poured another layer of epoxy on and I waited. And again, same result. So I came back and the epoxy didn't stick, and so I just kind of pulled it up. But basically, the resin was very malleable and pliable, and it wasn't doing what resin was supposed to do, and be solid. And I don't know how to finish this project. I really don't. And so right now I'm gonna put this on the back burner, and we'll come back to this hopefully in a later video. But for the other coasters, what I ended up doing is I went to work and I planed the big board down so that everything was even and the resin was flush with the wood. And it looked really, really nice. So then what I did, same day, I took them on the table saw at work and I cut them into 3-inch cubes. Perfect, got 7 of those with like a 2-inch cutoff. But basically what I did from there is I took those, I clamped them to the table, took a palm router with a rounding bit and rounded all the edges. Took like 15 minutes. And then what I did was I applied a test coat of lacquer to one of the pieces. And I saw that it looked really nice. And so I went home, I sanded them all down really, really well. And then I did the lacquer coat, sanding, lacquer coat, sanding, wet sanding, all that, until I got this. And now all of these look really, really nice, and I'm really proud of these. I think the epoxy shows really well at certain angles in the sun, and like the whole way it lines up, I just think it's really great. Well, that seems to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and a big shout out to Brandon Russell for letting me use some of his tools during this build. Until next time, you guys have a nice day.